Welcome back to this long-distance learning class. I hope you remain calm and maintain a high degree of morale even during this pandemic. Our topic today is living and learning in the 21st century. Before we go further, let's clarify what our learning goals are. By the end of the class, students are able to first define what it means to live in the 21st century, and second, to connect the meaning of living in the 21st century with the necessity of education. What does it mean to live in this century? We are to critically attend to what we believe to be true with regards living in this era. For sure, we will always connect our era with the necessity of education for our own generation and for our future generations as well. Humans are always engaged in a meaning-making process. We always want to know who we are, what we are, where we want to go, and why do we do what we do during this era. It is just natural to ask all those questions, and I believe that it is a bit difficult for most of you to answer those questions. Why? Well, it is because we are inside this era, this moment. It is like a fish that cannot define what water is. We cannot set the boundaries since our vision and horizon are limited by the context of here and now. Knowing our era is very important for us indeed, especially when we are talking about education. To tell you the truth, I have the privilege to tell you about this issue, mostly because I've lived long enough before the 21st century came into existence. I was born and grew up in a hilly area about 30 kilometers west of Yogyakarta. I spent my childhood without electricity. I grew up without phone connections. In my childhood, I spent my days looking for firewood. I had two goats to feed on every day, and roads in my neighborhood weren't paved. In dry season, roads were filled with dusts. In rainy season, the roads became very slippery. I attended graduate years before the turn of the millennium. I started my freshman year in 1994 and finished my undergraduate degree in 1999. It means that I was born and raised during the New Order regime. I belong to the generation that made the New Order regime give up its power to people. In 1998, I witnessed the many university students rally demonstrations and protests to the ruling regime. I finished my undergraduate program 1 year after the new reform era came into existence. Given many limitations in my lifetime, I didn't have any idea to attend college, let alone to attend college overseas. But nobody knows what happens next in real life. I ended up receiving scholarship in a prestigious university at the United States starting in 2001. I eventually earned the access to knowledge, especially related to many things in the world through education. Let's fast forward to today's pandemic, COVID-19. This year marked 21 years of my teaching experience in this university. I think I've seen a lot happening until this day, and the most visible change is from the existence of information technology devices. A case in point, the internet started to be operational in public in 1991, and you can imagine, less than 8 years later, traditional markets started to change a lot. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon.com, earned the title Man of the Year 1999 from the Times magazine. Everyone knows Jeff Bezos is now the wealthiest person on earth. He made use of the internet revolution to change traditional markets into a digital one. For sure, the internet invention has revolutionized many aspects of human lives all over the world. Information can be easily transferred. Access to information is widely open to anyone on earth. Social media become a very powerful source of information. Even anyone may produce information and easily publish it online. In summary, we have witnessed many great potentials. It is through such social media that a simple act of kindness went viral swiftly. A case in point, konser amal dari rumah by Didi Kempot on April 11th, 2020 took only 2 days to prepare. In order to urge people to stay home during Eid al-Fitri, Didi Kempot performed a live TV show. Can you imagine how successful it was? This 3-hour live music show ended up collecting 5.4 billion rupiah. In short, we have witnessed many great potentials from the information technology revolution. However, we cannot deny the negative impacts of this information technology. We have a couple of challenges. In the previous video, I briefly addressed Zygmunt Bauman's ideas on the liquid society. Societal values change. What we believed to be taboo in the past, now it becomes an acceptable thing on the screen. So it is certainly a difficult moment for us to conduct character education. And we finally know that a lot of progress on information technology has also created many job losses. This graphic comes from McKinsey. It may look complicated. However, the message is simple. We can finally see that routine and technical jobs will be replaced by robots. Automation will be anywhere. A case in point, you'll find less and less accountants and bank tellers in the near future. A study done by McKinsey predicts that by 2030 there will be 2.66 billion people as a workforce. And out of this huge number, 8 to 9%, or let's say between 210 millions to 240 millions of people will work in new occupations. They will certainly do things in the jobs that do not exist this year. So, it is true that living in the 21st century requires different ways of thinking and skills. Personal gadgets and information technology devices allow us to store much information. So we do not need to memorize like phone numbers or something. We let our gadgets work for us. Therefore, given the devices that help us memorize facts and figures, we have more possibility to engage in thinking skills. So, certainly, good education will move away from memorizing facts and figures and to embrace different ways of learning. So let's utilize different resources and analyze any data and synthesize them so that we create meaning. So the framework for 21st century learning gives us this overview. You will find core subjects and 21st century themes. What will be included? I would assume that this is related to numeracy and literacy, reading and writing. So the question is, what are included under 3 areas of skills? They are life and career skills, learning and innovation skills, and information, media, and technology skills. You may ask, what do life and career skills cover? Well, it is, I think, complex issue, but I would assume that you need to learn how to get along well with others. This is living with other people from different contexts, different backgrounds, different religions, and you are comfortable with that. And certainly you also need to keep learning all the time. Let's move to the second types of skills. What do learning and innovation skills cover? I would assume that we will be expected to be lifelong learners. Learning to obtain new knowledge and new skills will be necessity for your generation. The last one is, what do information, media, and technology skills cover? I would think you will be skillful utilizing different information and different sources, and you will never take things for granted, blindly accepting whatever comes in front of you. Instead, you need to think and find out the validity or the truthfulness of the data that come to you. That is an example of information, media, and technology skills. So, what's meant by learning to anticipate the 21st century challenges? It is not enough for just to memorize facts and figures. And I believe you still remember your past. I think it's kind of immediate past because you finished your high school a couple of months ago at least. I think, and you learn also mostly through rote learning and memorization, right? And do you think it is enough for you just to fill out worksheets? Why don't we try to gather data, analyze them, and identify problems and propose solutions? I think we have to back up all these challenges. Many teachers still utilize the same techniques to teach students of the past century. I remember that one of the most influential guru in education is Sir Ken Robinson, and he said that even today's education is doing a bad thing, especially because the system is only good to teach the 19th century citizens. That's a very bold claim, especially because many teachers forget to make students how to be creative and how to be inventive and how to be resourceful. When students come to school, they become so tame, they will be less wild. Why? Because many teachers cannot create meaningful learning for the students. And teachers cannot do most of the things because they must follow mandatory curriculum, obligatory curriculum. The mandated curriculum from the government is so confining in the sense that the teachers cannot blend and cannot adapt very flexibly, so that teachers fail to create students who become very creative and expressive in their thinking. So I would assume that we need to question about this issue. We need to question about the standards and assessment, the curriculum and instruction, and also professional development of teachers, so as to create better learning environments. So this concludes our today's video, and it is my expectation that you keep learning, you enjoy the process as lifelong learners. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay home, and stay happy.